for the 2019 Collingwood Elvis Festival. Hello everyone and welcome to Beach Talk on Wasaga Beach TV. I'm Dianna Chycki. The 25th annual Collingwood Elvis Festival celebrated a milestone from July the 26th to the 28th with this year's theme, Homecoming, recognizing and reminiscing with fans, friends, and family that makes Collingwood and Elvis so very unique and special. This marked the last year the town of Collingwood was hosting the event as the festival returns to its roots in 2020, managed by a private events host scheduled from July the 24th to the 26th. This is a two-part series. In this first segment, I caught up with ultimate Elvis tribute artists Shawn Klush, Dean Z, Jay Dupuis, and grand champions Pete Paquette, Oliver Steinhoff, followed by the 2019 Grand Champion Sylvain Leduc and Michael Collifer, who will represent Collingwood at the Elvis Week scheduled from August the 9th to the 17th. Joining me from Milton, Ontario is Elvis tribute artist, two-time Grand Champion at the Collingwood Elvis Festival, Pete Paquette. Bonjour, quel plaisir de vous revoir.
C'est mon plaisir d'être ici. Merci beaucoup de m'avoir.
So nice to see you again. So your performances are based on Presley's concert years era from 1969 until his passing 1977. I understand that you're a school teacher. So how has the career in Elvis tribute artist come to fruition?
You know what? I was always involved in music growing up as a kid. And Elvis was just a fun, I became a fan of Elvis's music. And then I just started performing for my school. Everywhere I could look into perform, I just enjoyed the process. And then as I went to university, wanted to get a teaching degree, become a teacher, I should say. I just kept doing it and met a nice family of Elvis fans out here in Collingwood. And ever since then, I never looked back. I just had a great time doing festival to festival, won a lot of awards, and now we're headlining. And I started teaching français in Toronto, yes, so I still do that. And then I also own my own company, Paquette Productions, where we produce other shows, other genres.
Yes. So what have you learned about yourself since being an Elvis tribute artist?
Just learned that I became very confident. I enjoyed learning from Elvis and just integrating that in my life, everyday life. You're not trying to be Elvis, but you do admire a lot of his qualities and the way he was so kind and giving. It was a good role model for me. So I love to tell young kids that as well, and that they need to know a little bit of something, at least of something of Elvis. He was incredible. And that's why you've got thousands of fans out here tonight in Collingwood celebrating his music.
Now, you talked about some of your accolades, and I'm going to mention some of them because you got them in Canada and United States, such as two-time Collingwood Elvis Festival Grand Champion, Toronto Elvis Festival Grand Champion, Best Performer at the Las Vegas Elvis Festival, and ranked one of the top 10 tribute artists in the world. So having these titles, how has this helped spearhead your career?
It was I felt it was just another opportunity to just meet some great people along the way, influenced me on working with some of the best producers and entertainers as well. And it just helped me gain more and more confidence by having all these accolades and just using that as a experience behind me to push forward to do other things in life, So
you formed your own production. You mentioned it earlier, Paquette Productions Entertainment. So where you are self-producing your own shows, can you elaborate a little bit more?
Absolutely. It started off doing the Elvis show. Doing your own show is a lot of fun because you get to do whatever you want, show off some of the eras that Elvis did that you might not have a chance to do at a festival. And then that spiraled into finally understanding that in order to continue on as a production company, it might be best to explore other genres, not just Elvis, because there's tons of fans of the Motown show, tons of fans of country, western music, rockabilly music. There's all kinds of genres. And there are fans out there that are just dying to see some of those acts. So yeah, we work with some of the best, and we're very thrilled about that.
And speaking about those genres, I know you left your blue suede shoes to do the Beatles, Frankie Valli, Tom Jones, Tony Bennett, the music of the 50s, 60s with the Rocky Royals.
That's right.
So is this something that you're planning to develop in the future with your production company?
Absolutely. What you're talking about is the rock and roll show that we do. I had just an urge. It started off doing our New Year's event, and we started feeling like this is a great way of exploring what Pete Paquette can do, and all of my inspirations in life, not just Elvis, but there's tons of other artists that I admire, such as the Beatles and Frankie Valli, people like that. And no, this has been it's a work in progress, this show, and I think it's going to be, it's my favorite amongst all my shows that I'm in, outside of Legends Show and Elvis as well. A lot of fun, but it's going to develop with time more and more. We love it.
And this marks the silver anniversary of the Collingwood Elvis Festival, having won 2 grand champions here in Collingwood. How important is this festival to you?
It's like home. I feel that I've been part of Collingwood probably since 2003. I remember coming in at 2002 when I was just a spectator, enjoying and saying, one day I'm going to be here, next year I'm going to participate, and I did. And I think I won non-professional that year, or I may have lost even that year. I forget the first time. And it was a good experience. I couldn't wait. And then I won the Brantford Elvis Festival that same year, so got me going. And since then, I've been coming every year to Collingwood Elvis Festival, and either as a competitor or a headliner. So it's family driven. I love it. It feels, I know everybody out there. Everybody's waving, Pete Paquette, hello, we love you, I love you too. And we're all here for one thing, Elvis Presley. It's a lot of fun.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So where can we find more information?
Well, definitely PaquetteProductions.com on me. That's for Shawn, what we do, our shows. So it's PAQUETTE, productions with an S.com.
And well, on that note, merci Pete.
Merci beaucoup.
Fait plaisir de vous voir. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Oh,
and
it's
have
a
yourself
pleasure.
a wonderful weekend.
Well, same here,
Thank
and everybody
you.
else over there. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you
Merci.
so much.
Plaisir.
Merci. Coming to you from the 25th Annual Collingwood Elvis Festival, joining me from Valleyfield, Quebec, is Niagara Falls Elvis Festival 2019 Grand Champion, Sylvain Leduc. Bonjour Sylvain, quel
Bonjour.
plaisir de vous rencontrer.
Merci, c'est un plaisir
Such
pour
a
moi.
pleasure
Such
to
a
meet
pleasure
you.
to be here.
So you have been competing since 2015, where you garnered the Convention Elvis à la Ville de Québec. What made you decide to become a tribute artist? As I understand, you were also a real estate agent.
Well, the tribute artist came from a long time ago because actually I was brought up in the Elvis world with my family, and from there on, I've always listened to Elvis and just about Elvis all the time. And I actually started. I was like 15 years old, doing a few shows, Christmas shows. Actually, I did the Gong Show at my high school, and I won.
Nice.
I don't know if people remember the Gong Show back then, but
Gong Show.
yeah, that was for people that do any kind of amateur performances. So. And then from there on, after that, I stopped a long time. I mean, after 18, 19 years old, I stopped a long time. I got married, had kids, did the important stuff of life, to
Of course.
make things meet and make ends meet and stuff like that. And then I started back in about 2010. I started doing, as a real estate agent for Remax, we do a lot for sick children.
Absolutely.
So we were doing shows, supper shows that we did for sick children, and I started back into it like that. And then I started getting in a little more serious about it, and then I started competing in 2015, which my first competition was in Lake George.
Wow. That's
And ever
amazing.
since that, I've loved it because how it reunited so many people, and it was just always fantastic for me.
Wonderful. So what have you discovered about yourself by being an Elvis tribute artist?
Well, I've discovered that you can bring me. I had the passion since I was very young, and as an Elvis fan and loving him as an entertainer and as a human being, that I am projecting this out to other people and I can see that they're enjoying it just as much as I am, because I actually feed off their happiness, and so for me it's very rewarding.
And you were the first Quebecer to participate at the 2018 Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist Contest in Memphis, where you ranked in the top 10 finalists. How was the experience?
Experience was very, very good. Not knowing what was happening, and got a lot of feedback about this and that, but actually they were very, very how we say hospital.
Hospital, yeah.
Yeah, they were very hospitable about everything. They were very helpful, so I really enjoyed the experience.
So with performances in the US and Canada, this year you launched your new tour, Elvis Reimagine, the Suspicious Mind Tour. Tell us about this tour.
Well, the tour is because Suspicious Minds, well, last year we were doing the Aloha Tour, which was the 50th anniversary, and this year is actually the 50th anniversary of the Suspicious Minds, the song Suspicious Minds. So, and in '69 when Elvis came back in Vegas and stuff, so that's basically we're just trying to relive. Actually, as you can see, I'm wearing the jumpsuit from back then too, so we're trying to reimagine, like you say, reimagine being there back then. So that's what it's all about.
So you have two competitions, with the first one taking place this weekend at the 25th anniversary of the Collingwood Elvis Festival in the professional category, and then Memphis during the Elvis Week in August. So how do you prepare for these competitions?
Well, it's a lot of work, and in the week I do a lot of practicing songs, new songs, always trying to develop with the right songs, with the right voice to give it my most authentic show that I can do for Elvis. I mean, I just don't want to go out there and just sing Elvis songs. I want to recreate, like we said, reimagine, is to reimagine, and so people will feel it, not just hear it and see it, they'll feel it too, that we're doing it for Elvis and not just to.
And how many times do you rehearse for all these shows?
Well, if we're doing, like, maybe sometimes I do 3 shows a week, so I'll probably rehearse maybe 2-3 times in a week for that too.
And do you have a favorite song?
I have a lot of favorite songs. How about You Gave Me a Mountain?
Nice. So where can we find more information on Sylvain?
You can go on my website, which is www.sylvainleducelvis.com. And if you like, you can join us on our fan page on Facebook, which is Sylvain Leduc fan site, Facebook.
Well, merci Sylvain for being my guest, and
you.
wishing you all the best of success with your upcoming competitions.
Thank
Bonne
you so
chance.
much. Thank you for having me.
Thank
you so much.
so much. Joining me is the 2014 Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist, Jay Dupuis from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So
That's
nice
right.
to see you
Good
again.
to see you again, sweetie, yeah.
So for our audience, what era of Elvis do you perform?
Well, I'm one of those guys that can perform all the eras, but what I prefer is the early 70s, like 1969 to 1973 is what I normally do, which is, I'm dressed
Reflecting.
like 72 Elvis right now, so.
And we must say you just came off
Just came off the
performing.
stage,
Oh my
so I'm
goodness.
sweating a little bit, you know.
Just came off. So what has been your biggest accomplishment in being a tribute artist?
Well, I've got a few things, you know, that I've been blessed to do. Of course, I won the 2014 Ultimate World Champion, where I'm sanctioned by Elvis Presley Enterprises now.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I've also I'm probably the only, actually I am the only guy to ever perform with members of the TCB band in a jumpsuit. They made a pact when Elvis died to not ever play with anybody in a jumpsuit, and some of them agreed to perform with me on a show called The King in Concert. So and I got the thumbs up from them, saying that I'm the closest they've ever seen to Elvis. You know? So whenever you hear it from them that perform with Elvis every night, you know, it means something special, you know.
And with your busy tour schedule, how do you manage your career and your family life? Because now you have this little boy in your life and your wife.
Well, it's tough because this is what I do full time, and I'm gone quite a bit, you know. But luckily, I am, I guess I'm popular enough to where I can kind of call what I want, for as far as, a fee, and I just write in the contract, I want my wife and son to come with me too. And, my wife doesn't want to travel quite as much because, all the traveling, my son likes his room. I just did a jungle room for him, at his house and at our house, and he absolutely loves playing with dinosaurs and all his animals in his room. So we don't want to take him away from it, So as much as I can, I want him to come with me. Like if I'm gone for longer than 2 weeks, they're coming with me, But like for these little quick weekend gigs, they stay home.
That's great.
But I do miss them.
I bet
all the
you
time,
do.
yes.
He's such a sweetie.
If it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't be. No, what is it? If it wasn't for FaceTime, I would not be doing this.
FaceTime and Skype, absolutely.
Yeah, that absolutely helps. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about how you are the look-alike and the vibe and the singing and all that. Sam Thompson, Elvis' head of security and close friend, and this year's invited VIP guest at the festival, quoted, "I got the same electric feeling from him as an actual Elvis show." What comes to mind when you hear this?
I was there when he said that. Sam Thompson, that show that I was telling you about, he actually works on that show with me. And his role in the show is he'll come out and tell the stories about particular performances, and then we'll go on stage and we'll perform that performance, in this show. But what he's talking about is when the 2001 started, and we had this big orchestra behind us, 40 pieces, and he was out in the audience watching, and he said, "Man, I got this electric feeling, and you came out and you didn't disappoint. It's like I was seeing it all over again,
Wow.
So whenever he tells me that, and I've gotten a lot of good quotes from guys that perform with Elvis about my act. Whenever whenever you hear it from them, you're doing something right. All the studying, all the hours and hours and hours of practicing and studying and watching footage, that it's paid off.
That's wonderful. So this marks the 25th annual Collingwood Elvis Festival. You're scheduled to perform throughout the weekend. What do you enjoy most about the Collingwood Elvis Festival?
My friends, Mitch and Dianna Brock, they have become family to me. Actually, I tour with them throughout Canada and get to see my brothers, my ETA brothers, Rosemarie, Ray and Sandy, that I work for also. It's just great. I get to see everyone. I get to see you again every time I come
I know,
here.
it's such a pleasure.
You and I get to talk, and I'm just meeting you, Mike. I'm just meeting you, Mike. It's just Collingwood is a magical place to begin with. It's the largest Elvis festival in the world. So to be part of that is pretty amazing. But my favorite part of doing these festivals, all of them, is getting to see my friends, my Elvis family, and really visiting with them.
That's wonderful. So where can we find more information?
My website, www.jdupuiselvis.com. It has videos, pictures, it has my tour schedule, it has everything on there. It has those quotes, it has
I
everything
know,
on
they're
there.
all over. Yes,
right.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Jay, for being my guest. It's always a pleasure
always
to
a
have you on
pleasure.
the show. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
and I'll
sweetie.
give
It's
you a
great to
kiss.
see Great to
Thank
see
you.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Joining me from Steinbach, Germany, I hope I said that correctly, is the 2016 Collingwood Grand Champion, Oliver Steinhoff. Nice to meet you, Oliver.
This is my pleasure to be here.
So, first of all, happy belated birthday. I hear you celebrated birthday on June the 14th.
13th, but it's true, yes. It's true.
So congratulations on being recognized as a new member of the International ETA Hall of Fame on July 21st.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide to become an Elvis tribute artist?
First of all, I'm an Elvis fan since I'm 10 years old. So I became an Elvis fan first, and I get into this business in 2002 because we have a lot of the, honestly, bad ones. So, and I would like to create a niveau for a style for how can I say it? It's a respectful. This is
Okay.
what I mean. A respectful tribute to Elvis, and because of that, I started 16 years ago, and
And here
I
you
mean,
are.
yeah.
And what era of Elvis do you perform?
I started with the 68 comeback special, going through into That's the Way It Is stuff, and until to the Allure, but actually I have to do all areas for some different shows. I have a kind of dinner shows, and we have in between of the meals some short show slots of 20 minutes, and I start with the 50s, do the famous songs, then go through to the movies, 68 until to the biggest.
And how much time is dedicated in being an Elvis tribute artist? I mean, all these eras must take a lot of work from you.
If you're an Elvis fan, it makes it so easy because you listen always Elvis, you're watching always Elvis movies, and because of that, it isn't really work. It's more like a lot of fun. Work is it when you start to recreate his style.
Mm-hmm. And do you recall your first Elvis song that you performed?
That was "She's Not You."
Oh.
That was my first song with a letter in my hand, and I tried to sing this song. Yeah, I didn't expect that I could be an Elvis as a full-time Elvis, but you see, so many things happen, and I'm so overwhelmed and so glad, and I'm very blessed.
And this marks the 25th annual Collingwood Elvis Festival. You're competing in the professional category. So how are you preparing for this competition after winning the 2016 Grand Champion?
Honestly, I didn't expect that I would come back to compete. But this is a special year. This is the 25th, the silver anniversary of Collingwood. And this makes it so special why I said, okay, you should try it again. To be always ready prepared is it's not always easy, but I have someone who will look after me, and this is very good that I have to do shows there, always. This is a very full schedule, but to be here is absolutely amazing. The people here in Collingwood are unique. You can't find it somewhere. This is the only place where you can find this kind of people, and this is so amazing.
Wonderful. So where can we find more information on Oliver?
You go on Facebook, Oliver Steinhoff. You go on the regular website, oliver-steinhoff.com. Also on Instagram, and you will figure it out when you go on the website here on the Collingwood website.
Well, thank you, Oliver, for being my guest, and wishing you all the best of luck with
Cross
this
fingers.
year's competition. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. My pleasure. My
Much.
pleasure.
Thank you. Joining me is the first ever Ultimate Elvis tribute artist proclaimed by Elvis Presley Enterprise, who also portrayed Elvis in the HBO series Vinyl in 2016, produced by Martin Scorsese and Mick Jagger, Shawn Klush.
Is that it?
So great to see you again.
It's good to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time and do this interview, because I know you just came off from a performance at the center stage, so
We
I know
did.
it's very hot. So first of all, I want to say happy birthday. I
Wow.
hear you celebrated a birthday on June the 17th. I should
Right.
say a belated birthday.
Right, I'm 26.
You're 26
Yep.
now? That's wonderful.
Mhm.
So you are known as the closest thing to the king in concert. You brought tears to Joe Esposito, Elvis' best friend, who was a judge when you won the world greatest Elvis in the UK. How do you feel about that?
You know, well, I still don't believe it, but it did happen. Joe's became an incredible friend of ours, and we stayed together up until he, passed away, and went to his funeral. Know his daughter really well. It was an amazing thing. Not only just because of an Elvis thing, but you see now that Elvis, and this is the deal with being a fan. Elvis he's not even here, and he brought two people together and families together that now stay in touch even after they've passed on. So that's the amazing part of it all.
Wow, that is amazing.
And then the fact he's Joe Esposito, I mean, there was many stories and laughs and things that
You're not going to go there.
I can't. I sworn to secrecy, man.
Okay. So you were born and raised in a small coal mining town of Pittston, Pennsylvania. I hope I said that correctly.
You did.
What made you decide to pursue a career as an Elvis tribute artist?
I got tired of picking coal. No, I don't know. My dad was a DJ in the 50s and 60s, so I was the only child, and I listened to all those records when I was little. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, the Rat Pack, Mahalia Jackson, all that stuff. He would pull me away from the television set from watching cartoons and make me listen to, The Shadow, and things like that, because the imagination is bigger than the television. So.
And The mystique of Elvis, you talked about a little bit, continues after all these years. What
Sure.
makes him so memorable?
You know, well, first and foremost, you can't have him anymore. You know, and left way too fast. As fast as he came in, he went out. You know, 42 years is nothing. That's nothing. And, you know, and it's just, it's an everlasting thing because it's not here anymore. And can you imagine, had the Beatles gotten with him and wrote an album or something, where that would have went? You know, had he taken that movie, The Star is Born, where would that have been? You know, I mean, there's so many things and possibilities that could have just spread. I mean, the whole gospel thing, I'm sure he would have taken that to a different place. And I think, you know, for an individual to have all of it at one time in abundance, that's a lot, man.
That
you know?
is,
And I
yeah.
think that's what people miss. They miss that whole person, individual, star, king, whatever you want to call it.
So I understand Jean Doucette designs all of your costumes. Do you have a favorite Elvis style you enjoy wearing? I think the last time you were here 2 years ago, we had a conversation because I said I was a professional ice skater, and you said how
Ice capades.
Elvis,
Yeah.
wanted the jumpsuit. That's where it all started.
Yeah, well, it was taken from a karate suit. And that's where it really came from. And he had two pieces made. You lift your arms up in that thing, and it comes up to your belly button sticks out and stuff. So that went away, and he started splitting his pants. So they made it one piece, and they got that idea from Ice Capades. So when you look at all the inside of the jumpsuits, the original ones, it says IC Costume Company, which is Ice Capades. Jean Doucette, Bill Ballou, those guys were the guys that worked for Ice Capades, and that's where they used that stretch gab. That's where it came from. So we could, without
could
splitting
stretch it
anything.
But do you have a favorite? Because I know you have a lot of costumes.
Geez, you know, probably the one, my parents saw him in '72 at Madison Square Garden. So I'm partial to the eyelet suit, which is all the squares with the red in them.
Okay.
And because they saw him in that, and the afternoon one, they called it the light blue vine suit, killer suit,
Nice.
killer suit. But I mean, the Aloha everybody likes because it's significant. You know, any of the early stuff, you know, anything later I think was just there to put on, be on display as well for the show. You know, but I think that's the way it is in the, you know, the Madison Square Gardens. He was there to work. And later on, not that he wasn't there to work, but I think they took it to a different level when they started designing them and putting everything up at the kitchen sink.
So to speak, right?
Yeah, well, I have one, and it's extremely heavy. And if I
Oh, really?
if I can avoid wearing it, I do.
Wow.
Oh, silent.
Oh my God. Well, it keeps you in shape.
Yeah.
So can you share something about Shawn Klush that we don't know?
Yeah, I can't put that on television. That you don't know. I pumped gas at a gas station for a lot of years, and I also made 100 gallons of spaghetti sauce a week and 98 gallons of pizza sauce a week at my dad's buddy's restaurant for about 15 years.
Wow, good for you. Well, there you go. Now we
Nobody
know
knows that
something
because
about him.
I don't tell people this. And if you do, I'll cut you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, coming back here again, this marks the 25th annual Collingwood Elvis Festival. So you're scheduled to perform at the Homecoming Signature Show on Saturday night at the Eddie Bush Memorial Arena and the farewell event on Sunday. So what are you looking forward to this year's silver anniversary?
Just, you know, the same turnout, the same crowds are always here. They're always receptive. They're always, you know, open arms. It's a hard thing. You know, everybody's looking for a place to play. And this has always been here, especially for 25 years. That's a long-standing thing, you know. Priscilla Presley to recognize it, people of the such. It says a lot for it.
And where can we find more information on Shawn?
ShawnKlush.com.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Shawn, for being my guest. It's
Thank
always
you.
a pleasure to see you. Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much for coming to our silver anniversary. Thank you. Joining me is the 2013 Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist from Branson, Missouri, Dean Z. So nice to see you again.
Amazing to see you too. Mwah. I'm such a big fan of yours.
Oh, you're
You do
so
a great
sweet.
job. I watch
Thank
all the clips
you.
and you guys just do wonderful.
Aw,
Thanks for
thank you.
keeping
It really
Elvis's
means a
memory
lot.
alive the way you do as well.
Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations. I
Thank you.
understand you are expecting a baby girl due in October.
Yes. My life is feels like it's complete, you know, with her. It's me and my wife are so over the moon. Can't wait to meet our little angel, you know.
Oh,
Can't
that's
wait.
so wonderful. So you have an incredible busy tour schedule booked until December 21st, along with your D&Z show. Are you planning any downtime with the arrival of your little baby girl?
Well, the website is booked through December 21st of this year, but I'm actually booked until 2020 December.
Oh, wow.
And so all those things always go up about a year in advance. And so we've got 2021 already lining out, which is just
Wow.
what a beautiful thing. I'm hoping, and we're planning on next year taking the month of September completely off and doing what we call a staycation, where I'll just be home and not have to pack a bag for 30 days. That'll be beautiful. But it's there's obviously challenges with working as much and vigorously as we do, but it's such a blessing too, because this is what I live for. I live to entertain, and it's a beautiful thing that I get the chance to do this. And so I'm very fortunate. I try not to complain about it, because there's nothing to really complain about. This is what I've
That's
wanted to do
wonderful.
since a little kid.
But you also had a little R&R just recently as well, too.
We did.
You were on the beach, so that
It was so
kinda cool.
nice. My wife and I took what we call it's a baby moon, because our little girl's in October.
I
So
know.
this was our little window to take 5 days just to kind of, hit the off button on everything and just be there and
That's
spend some
wonderful.
time. And I almost forgot how to get dressed today. I've been in a shorts and a tank top for the last week, boogie boarding on the ocean. So it's been really nice, but I'm ready to come back to work.
So you recently had an opportunity to interview Linda Thompson, girlfriend of Elvis. So
I
what
did.
have you learned about Elvis during your conversation with Linda?
Well, Linda was such an angel to talk to. She's such a wonderful woman, and she's so intelligent, so bright, and just a good human being. And I can see why Elvis was so drawn to her. She's just magnetic. So I had the chance to chat with her quite a bit, and she told so many great stories, and she really showed us the man versus the persona. That was the conversation, was really about her life, but her connection to Elvis and the personal side of him. That as Elvis fans, we experience this persona as Elvis Presley, and she knew Elvis, this young, a guy from Tupelo, Mississippi, who liked to eat melon in bed, and liked to watch movies all night, and so she was telling me about those sort of things, and as an Elvis fan, it was actually very impacting, because I feel like I know Elvis. I feel so connected to him, and like an uncle,
Mm-hmm.
And so learning about these things, it's almost like you have a window into the personal side, and that was what Linda helped us all to see whenever we had that interview.
That was a great interview.
Thank you so much.
So-
It was my pleasure to do it.
Oh, it was wonderful. So tell us about Elvis the Rocker, where you perform at Graceland Soundstage during
Yes.
the Elvis Week with Canody Films they were filming.
Yes.
So how was the show?
The show is, first of all, The Rocker is the first time in Elvis Presley Enterprises history where a solo Elvis tribute artist has his own featured show during Elvis Week. This is kind of a groundbreaking thing, and so I'm very fortunate that they have the faith in me to pull that off. The Rocker is based on an audio tape that I got when I was 7 years old.
Oh,
It's a cassette tape, and I still have it. And it's called Elvis the Rocker. It's Elvis sitting on a motorcycle, the cover, and the songs are Jailhouse Rock, Hound Dog, Lottie Miss Claudie, these songs that are like the big bang of rock and roll. And in that moment at 7 years old, I clearly remember thinking to myself at the time, Elvis is the coolest guy that ever walked the face of the earth. And this is proof. He's on this motorcycle, he's singing this cool music, he looks so cool, leather jacket, hair coming down his face, looking so great. I thought, man, I want to be like that when I grow up. And so this show is based on that tape, but what it is, it's Elvis's most electrifying performances from his entire career, done through the lens that I bring to it. So it's not a traditional tribute. It is
Okay.
my version of these songs, and these. I won't be in any costumes that replicate Elvis's costumes. I'll be wearing the costumes that the suits and things that I feel that I would perform as my own artist, but singing these songs in my own way. And it's a 3-part show, 50s, 60s, 70s, and the whole show is just an adrenaline ride. It is just we stay in this insane stratosphere of energy, and by the end of it, I'm gonna probably need a cool shower or something, because I'm going to be knocked out after Poke Salad Annie after
Oh, my
90
goodness.
minutes. It's going to be fun. But I'm looking forward to it. It's August 12th. And,
Wow, that's coming soon.
It's amazing. Right there at Elvis Presley's soundstage at Elvis Presley Memphis.
Very nice. So what is your greatest accomplishment in being an Elvis tribute artist?
Well, I would have to say my greatest accomplishment, for sure, was getting the chance to be the world champion through the Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist contest. As far as I know, my dear friend Shawn Klush was there in 2007. He won it the first year. I never competed in any of the Ultimates until 2013, so I only did it one time. And I was very lucky to do it one time. And I believe out of all the winners, the only other person to do that was Shawn, being the first winner. And so for me to be able to just be there and have that honor and have Elvis Presley Enterprises, it's like Elvis himself shaking your hand and saying, "Good job, boy." You know, and that to me was probably my biggest accomplishment, my greatest moment. And I still really can't fathom that it's real. I remember a month after I won that championship, I was mowing my grass on my tractor, and I couldn't believe it. I said, "Man, I can't believe I just won the world championship. I'm back here mowing my grass, and I won this world championship." And it's like winning American Idol or Miss Universe for the Elvis world, you know. And so it still blows my mind. But that's
so
my greatest
wonderful.
moment.
So as you know, this marks the 25th annual Collingwood Elvis Festival with
Yes.
this year's theme, Homecoming.
Yes.
You're scheduled to perform at the signature show held at the Eddie Bush Memorial Arena on Saturday, July 27 at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Last year, you introduced us to your new gold lame little jacket.
Yes.
So what can we anticipate this year?
Well, I brought the black leather with me, my favorite era of Elvis's career. Elvis at his peak, in my opinion, I just think he looked the coolest. I mean, Elvis walking around that black leather was almost like a moving panther, like stalking, you know. That's what it felt like. And so getting to do that on this stage will be really cool, or really hot, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yes.
But I'm really looking forward to that. And we're doing our signature jam session where I take requests from the audience.
Oh.
So I have me, a guitar, the Casino Brothers Band, and we'll just be asking the arena what songs they would like to hear for about 10 minutes, and just letting them rip, having a good time
Wow.
playing their requests.
And where can we find more information?
Well, I'm on all the social media platforms: Instagram, Dean Z is Elvis; Facebook, Dean Z is Elvis; Twitter, Dean Z is Elvis; and also on the regular internet, deanz.com, and YouTube as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Dean, for being my guest. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you,
And
Dianna.
wishing you continued success.
Thank you.
And much happiness to you and your wife, Stephanie, on your little bundle of joy, soon to be here.
Thank you.
And for that, I have this little gift.
Oh my goodness!
A little something for you.
This is
For the
amazing.
little baby. Something
Wow.
that
Can-
you'll
can I
sort of
open it?
remember Canada from.
Can I open it?
Absolutely, go for it.
You got me paper. No, oh my gosh! This is for our little baby girl.
Yep.
Boy, y'all
Something
like.
to remember from Canada. I know.
Oh.
Did you miss it?
Here it is.
Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. There you
Oh
go.
my goodness
So there
gracious!
you see. Look at this. It says Canada.
Canada.
There you go. So
That's
you will
cute,
not
eh?
forget. Thank you so much.
That is so good. She's gonna wear it with pride. That's right. She'll be
Aw.
rocking this out in just a few months. Look at that, baby. I'm bringing
Wonderful.
back some more clothes.
Aw, from
Philip-
Canada.
From Canada. That's
She's
very
stamped.
special.
She will be stamped.
Absolutely.
Oh, all the best. Thank you so much, Dean.
Thank you very much. Mwah. God bless you. Mwah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
too.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Joining me is the 2019 Collingwood Elvis Festival Grand Champion, Sylvain Leduc. Congratulations, félicitations.
Thank you so much.
So were you pleased with your performance tonight?
I was pleased with my performance all weekend, actually. We worked very hard. Everybody worked very hard, but I was really pleased with my performances and my song choices too.
And now I hear you have 3 grand champions.
Yes, I do. I'm representing Niagara Falls and Memphis. Then I won in Lake George also, and now the 25th anniversary in Collingwood.
That's
which
so
is
wonderful. Now I like how this happened tonight because you were the grand champion. Because you won, you passed it on to the next.
Which
So
would have
tell
been-
us a little bit about that.
Yeah, which would have been the second place winner would have went to Memphis, but he was already qualified from Pentington Festival, so it goes to the next one as So it's Michael Culliver actually that's going to.
And anyone you wish to thank?
I'd like to thank everyone that was here, because without all the people that are here, all the organizers and the fans and everything, this wouldn't exist. So I'd like to thank everybody and Elvis Presley for giving us this chance to continue his I say it. I'm thinking French and now I'm trying to say it in English. His legacy.
His legacy.
Yes, sorry.
Well, congratulations again. Wishing you all the best of luck at the upcoming Ultimate Elvis Tribute Artist in Memphis, Tennessee. Thank you so much, Sylvain.
Did I make you do that?
Yeah, you made me do that. Merci beaucoup encore une fois.
Merci.
Okay.
Thank you.
Join me as the representative, Michael Culliver, for the 2019 Collingwood Elvis Festival, who will be representing Collingwood at the upcoming Memphis Week at Elvis Week in Tennessee. Congratulations,
Thank
Michael.
you so much. I appreciate that.
So,
Thank you.
First of all, how did you feel about your performances tonight?
I felt great, and the energy from the fans and the band was just amazing. I couldn't ask for a better situation. The Elvis fans here are the best.
Oh,
So-
and also with all this little thing tonight that you were called representative, I mean, that took you a little bit off guard, didn't it?
It did. It was very emotional for me. I mean, I've always, as a kid, I knew about Collingwood, and I always wanted to represent the biggest Elvis festival. So
That's excellent. And is there someone you'd like to thank?
my entire family, for sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, wishing you best of luck in representing Collingwood at the Memphis, Tennessee upcoming Elvis Week. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching part 1 of our 2-part series of the 25th Annual Collingwood Elvis Festival. I would like to thank Shawn Klush, Dean Z, Jay Dupuis, Pete Paquette, Oliver Steinhoff, Sylvain Leduc, and Michael Culliver for being my guests. Special thanks go to Rosemary Garrity O'Brien from the Collingwood Elvis Festival and the Elvis Presley Enterprises for making these interviews possible. Stay tuned for more from the Collingwood Elvis Festival with part 2, where I will feature Elvis's co-stars, Cynthia Pepper from Kissing Cousin, Marlon Mason from The Trouble with Girls, Elvis's security and personal friend, Sam Thompson, and festival's coordinator, Rosemary Garrity O'Brien. For more exclusive interviews with your favorite celebrities, check out Beach Talk on Wasaga Beach TV. I leave you tonight with a clip from Shawn Klush. Bye-bye, everyone.
Oh my, I feel my temperature.